So I'd like to welcome Ant Law today to the Modern Guitar Harmony interviews. And Ant's got a new album out called Unified Theory, which we're going to talk quite a bit about, and we'll talk about general guitar harmony approaches to guitar. First of all, Ant, you've made this album. There's some lovely songs on it. You've put the scores on your website. You've published the scores too. It's an exciting thing to be able to look at the charts while I'm listening to you. Would you like to say a little bit about that? Is this a new venture?
In some ways, it's just the same as my other albums that I've made. And I always do like to, have the scores available. First of all, it's a bit of a challenge for me after recording to knock the scores into shape to some extent so that they sort of resemble what we played. Although inevitably there are some inaccuracies, and then if you come and see us play things live, there are decisions that happen in the moment. So sometimes entire sections just like don't happen because someone moved the piece on to the wrong section. But if someone is feeling that it's the right section in the moment, then maybe it's the right section. Only the audience can decide ultimately. But yeah. So when you're asking about like a new venture, what aspect do you have in mind, Mick?
Publishing the scores. Have you published the
Okay.
scores for the other?
Yeah, I have. Well, I found it really useful to look at scores from other people. For example, Miles Okazaki, who I'm sure you know, and maybe some of the viewers also do, and also a chap called John Iscrete, who's from Donington. Is it Donington, I think? Yorkshire, maybe?
Yeah.
But it's been living in America for years. And I really loved one of his albums called Sabotage and Celebration, which is very evolved harmonically. I played it to a friend of mine who studied classical composition, and he was identifying that some of the harmonic things John was doing actually come from Stockhausen compositions. So yeah, sort of far beyond what I'm used to employing as a guitarist. But anyway, I loved looking at those scores, and one of the pieces actually, the first track on the album, Sabotage and Celebration, begins with a string quartet kind of introduction, and I really loved the chords, and I wanted to know what they were. And I suppose I was a little bit lazy, and I didn't want to transcribe them. Time is also short, as I'm sure you and your viewers know. So, yeah, sometimes it's better just to see exactly what it is, even if you transcribe it and then check it with the score.
Yeah.
But no, I like making the scores available, and even backing tracks as well. If anyone wants backing tracks, a little trick that I used to enjoy, when I would buy Steve Vai and Joe Satriani tab books and there would be a play along.
Yeah.
I find it much more helpful to play along with jazz musicians because the backing is a lot more, I don't know, oceanic, or like it changes a lot more because they're interacting with each other and certainly with the soloist in the moment. Even though when you're playing with a backing track, of course, they're not interacting with you. But there tends to be a lot more variety with a jazz backing track, largely, or there should be if you're doing the jazz correctly. Anyway, so that's an incredibly long answer for you, but yes, I suppose it's no, it's not a new venture, but every new album is a new venture in some way. So
And one question I had listening to it, are the words yours as well as the melodies? We've got a couple of songs.
no, I am terrible with words. I I would probably either be incredibly direct and simple or just incredibly long-winded,
Okay.
as you now know from my last answer. So Brigitte Beraha, who's very just poetic person, honestly, she wrote these beautiful words, and so yeah, the way those pieces developed, I gave her the pretty much the melody and everything else, and then she just added lyrics to the melody, which obviously presents a lot of challenges. I don't think we changed a single note of the melody. I think she really leaned into the limitations, like in terms of the number of syllables
Yeah.
that would have to fit the melody, which is quite impressive. But yeah, yeah,
So I'm reading from that you give her the melody and she put words to it.
exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Where would we be? Made me think of the old Jim Hall tune, album title, Where Would I Be? I think it's just coincidence, maybe.
I must admit, well,
Yeah.
I thought I was a huge fan of Jim. Possibly I'm not as big a fan as I thought I was, but thank
Tough
you for
one to
telling me
find.
about that. I've never listened to that tune.
Where Would I Be is I think it's one of Jane Hall's compositions. I'm not certain, but it's a hard
Okay.
album to find, I know that.
Yeah.
So I lost it once and tried to get it again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a
for
few.
any Apple Music
Right.
listeners,
Yep,
as Jim is no longer with us, I think we can say streaming is 100% okay.
might pop up.
Can we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
There it is. Oh, yeah. The same album as Simple Samba. And I remember looking
Yeah,
at that
that's a
one.
good tune. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, beautiful album cover as well. Thanks for
Yeah,
telling me about that,
it's
mate.
that the ocean with the rocks and the words on the rocks. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a little connection. We've got. I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. You can perhaps. Nikumar Nikumaroro.
Yeah.
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 Um,
Everyone could go and type that into Google Maps and
yeah.
see where that is.
So just a title added to a tune, or did you think of the place and then come to the tune afterwards?
You know, I honestly can't remember.
I'll respect your secrecy.
No, no, it's fine. But in the last couple of years, I have a little bit of curiosity with maps,
Yeah.
and in particular islands.
Mhm.
And I I've explored some cool sort of islands around the British Isles, for example, Shetland and the Inner Hebrides, the Outer Hebrides, and St Kilda, which is a little bit more. I haven't been to the Faroes. I've been to Iceland. Anyway, so I like islands in particular, and there are some sort of really inaccessible islands. One is called Inaccessible Island.
Right.
I'd love to go to Easter Island one day, but anyway, over in I think French Polynesia or in the middle of the Pacific, maybe well South Pacific rather, there are loads of cool islands. One of them is called Nikumaroro. It's more of an atoll, and it has a really interesting shape with a little break in the shape. And people think that Amelia Earhart is a good history test. You know lots of stuff. Do you know who she was?
That's the song Amelia by Joni Mitchell, and it's the pilot, the 30s pilot.
Yes, and so she attempted to be, if I'm not mistaken, the first woman to fly around the entire world. But she, they don't know what happened to her, but it's thought that she crash landed on this island, Nikumaroro, a very small island.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks really cool. Go and have a scroll around in Google Maps. Make sure you change the setting to satellite rather than, yeah, not default. You put the satellite, you get the sort
Oh,
of,
you've been to see the beach. Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
lovely.
But it has an unusual shape,
Mhm.
and the rhythmic cycle in that piece is
Ah,
very, very unusual. And I thought that it reflects each reflects the other. So that's what that's
great,
about.
great connection. Before we get on to harmony in that sense, maybe I can ask a couple of other questions. And we've got Tbilisi as well, which I did know was in Georgia. It's the capital of Georgia, in fact, you told me. Geographical locations of titles is great. Is there any regional connection with any of the musics, or is it geographical ideas and
That
inspirations?
no, no, yeah, it's well, that one is quite silly actually, with in the tradition of contrafacts and
Of course.
silly titles. So it's just a sort of I don't know, almost bebop. I mean, it's not bebop remotely, but a line, a quaver line or eighth note line from American Friends on the standard Sweet Georgia Brown.
Yeah, Georgia.
And yeah, so I just, just sort of encrypting the title as I've encrypted the melody, I suppose. I just thought Tbilisi, that'll do.
Yeah, nice
Yeah.
one. You have been looking at the maps in detail though. Um, and then the other title that really fascinated me, Octopus Pajama, reminded me a tiny bit of a Ben Monda title, which is
Luteus Pangolin or
that's the
something.
one. Yeah, Luteus Pangolin, of course.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah, because
Just
Luteus,
connected. I don't know why.
yeah, yeah, the chords are quite weird. I love this, one of my favorite Mondo pieces actually.
Beautiful.
And
Yeah,
his
Luteus
solo on that,
Pangolin.
yeah, his solo is a great example of motivic development,
Mhm, mhm.
which I always play to pupils because it's so uncompromising in its link from, well, one musical statement to the next. You can really hear the connection for the whole solo.
Yeah.
And of course the piece, those kind of harmonies don't just emerge by themselves. You have to start somewhere and develop it in order for it to make musical sense, which it does, and it's very beautiful. But no, the piece has no connection. Although guitar players might potentially find this amusing.
Yeah.
I think I posted about some kind of compression pedal that I wanted to work with an AER amp, and I said I'd got the JAC Menatone, but that I was considering the Keeley modded this or that, and a saxophone player was just taking the mickey out of me and posted, "So have you tried the Octopus Pajama on this
All
and
right.
that?"
Okay.
So I thought that sounded like a suitably silly title, and the tune has some quite silly aspects to it as well. So
There's
yeah,
there's
so
quite a big sense of fun on the album. It sounds like you're having a good time. You're enjoying the session.
good. Yeah, tried to not be too stressed in the studio. You know, the clock ticking as the pounds.
Hmm.
You know, the expenditure goes up, but yeah, I'm glad, and it was really fun. The band, the other chaps in the band are amazing. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, if everyone is concentrating, it doesn't sound like you are. It sounds like you're relaxed into the parts and things. I wonder if I could pull a couple of charts up onto the screen and
Please
we
do,
can look
please
at
do.
them. Is there anything you'd like to start with? I've got them. I think I can bring them
Well,
up
we
as
did talk about a
pictures.
couple before, didn't we?
Yeah,
So maybe we don't need to go through them again.
good point.
Yeah, I don't mind. But one thing that I'd really encourage people to do is a kind of game. There's a Dutch guitarist called Renier Bass who's really developed this idea into something extremely sophisticated. And he talks about the difference between ascending in this way and descending in this way. But let me just explain what it would be. I think the basic principle is you take a chord that you might be very familiar with. For example, C major 7, let's say. And I don't want to give away his whole concept, but if you've got a C major 7 chord, there's no reason you have to play Ionian or Lydian or harmonic major, let's say. You know, you can kind of make up your own scale that you like the sound of, or follow your ears if you like. But if you want to create your own new kind of weird scale, you could change the second, the fourth, and the sixth into anything you like. So I was just mucking about with this, trying to just sort of trick my ear into finding something new, really. And with the piece "Where Would We Be," which is the seventh track on the album, the chord symbols look like a real, I don't want to say like mouthful or handful, but really the whole of that first section comes from a scale that I found, which I thought, I'm just kind of joking around a bit, I thought I'd found the most soulful scale, and it was Mixolydian sharp 9.
Hmm.
Yeah. So basically, if you've got like a G flat 7 or anything 7, root third, fifth, flat 7, and then so you go root, sharp 9, major third, fourth, fifth, normal sixth, flat 7, root. And yeah, because it's got the 1 dominant, but also the 4 dominant in it. You know, the churchy, plagal,
Yeah.
bluesy 4 dominant sound. So yeah, so a lot of that piece came from that. The last line of the form and the intro, and the rest is kind of chord melody. You know, it's just allowing the melody to develop itself.
Do you have any objection to me pulling the
Not
score
at
up?
all. Please do.
I
Please
thought
do.
you would be okay with that.
Yeah,
Be it. Can you see that now?
I can. Yeah.
Great. Um, so yeah, there's your G flat 7. Are you putting the flattened second into the Mixolydian mode? Is that what you said you were
Not
doing?
the flat, the sharp
Sharp
second.
seconds, excuse me. I've written
Although I think we should call it sharp 9 because that makes people
sharp.
think of blues
Yeah,
a bit more. All
Mixolydian
right,
sharp 9. Got it.
mix
Thank you.
mixo sharp 9. Yeah, so yeah, people could write that out. We don't need to kind of go through it
Yeah.
here. Um, yeah, but if you build that into seventh chords, what's it going to be? It's going to be G flat 7, then B flat over A, and then I need my guitar probably.
Yeah.
But,
It's a
but,
good
but
starting point. We can work on that one sort
yeah,
of just basically from what you've said there. That's great.
yeah.
And what you're saying about interesting scales, there's another one of your tunes where you're using one of the Hungarian Romani scales.
Oh yeah.
And
I thought I'd found it. It's funny when you think you found something, you realize you really haven't. Hey, just before we park this
yeah,
though,
sorry, keep
no,
going.
that's cool. Can you scroll through to the last line
Yeah,
of the whole tune?
right.
Yeah, and people could see basically that exact same progression from the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Lovely.
Yeah, so if you D, so that's up a fourth, so that's in B7. Sorry,
Okay.
from B. So that last line is going to be B Mixolydian sharp 9. So if you sort of descend through the scale,
Yeah.
those are the chords you get. You get that really weird sound. B7, E7 over A.
Yeah.
It's cool. G sharp minor 7. D add 9 over F sharp. D sharp diminished major 7. E major 7. And then I think it's going to be D sharp. What's the next one? I'm rusty on this
Major
scale.
seventh.
Yeah, E major 7. But then the remaining one, which is going to be D sharp something else.
Hmm.
People can go through it and write it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd need to. I can't do that in my head.
I suppose the end game with these things is to internalize them so much that you can improvise with them. And that's why some of these pieces, the album title being Unified Theories, and I'm trying to like have a musical theory and follow it.
Hmm.
Um, so some of these things are from sort of like musical hypotheses, but as you can see, I haven't internalized all of these sounds as much as I could. So there's still work to be done, which is good because that's the enjoyable work.
Of course. Of course. It's a very beautiful ballad, and the complexity of the harmony is nicely balanced against the effortlessness of it and the ease of it. It's got a nice, easy feel to it.
Oh, thanks, man.
There's something of the jazzier side of the 60s, 70s British band Pentangle about it almost.
Okay.
Just the tone of the voice is reminding me a little of Jackie McPhee when
Mm,
she sang with Pentangle.
mm,
It's, they got into quite a nice jazzy groove quite often with Danny Thompson and Terry Cox.
mm.
I
Okay,
don't know
cool.
if you
Wow,
know them.
that's great. No,
Yeah.
I'm totally ignorant about
It's
them.
got a it's ancient history, but it's beautiful music.
Nice.
Um,
Pentangle.
yeah,
It's on the list.
what's the one? There's a tune called Light Flight. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it's made me think of. It
Hmm.
was a hit single once upon a time and a TV theme in the 60s or 70s in Britain.
Very
Uh,
cool.
Ancient but very beautiful. John Renbourn and Bert Jansch on it.
Okay.
So it's some good players, obviously.
Mm, mm.
I had another tune. I'm trying to remember the title of the tune that has the palindrome, the scale with the
Yeah, colors.
colours. Thank you. That helps. I'll see if I can pull that one up instead of this one.
Yeah,
TV.
if you sort of zoom in on the A section,
Mhm.
I'm a bit more familiar with that tonality actually.
Great.
So if people take B major, take a B major 7,
Yeah.
and then flatten the second and flatten the sixth. Yeah, there we go. So if you go down to the A, sort of the A section,
Here we go.
yeah, exactly. So there you can see. Um, I've got no idea what those three question marks are. Um, so yeah, this is the process, work in
Example
progress.
strings.
Yeah, but so that line there, you could see that's literally ba-do-bo-de-bo-de. That's literally a B major 7
Yeah.
arpeggio,
Mhm.
like going root 7th, root 3rd, root 5th.
Yeah.
Then we have a D sharp minor 6, which is really weird because we've got the note above and below the root, a semitone away from the root. So that's
Yeah.
what's super weird about some of these scales. You find is they've got three semitones in a row,
Mhm.
which is none of harmonic major, harmonic minor, melodic minor, major, diminished whole tone. All of those ones that most people know don't have more than one semitone in a row.
Mhm.
So we get, yeah, some pretty cool results. Yeah, you can kind of go up. There's also just at the start of, oh, sorry, at the end of bar 14 there, we've got that F sharp
Mhm.
7 flat 5 arpeggio. F sharp, A
Oh
sharp,
yeah.
C, and E.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And yeah, just kind of
Mhm.
going up the arpeggio really. But there's a rhythmic concept going on there, little groups of 7 and stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So that C is kind of really interesting as a top melody note in bar 14. You're kind of going from the B to the C up through the B arpeggio, and that's your flat nine sound. And harmonically, it's not so far out, but the actual scale makes it sound stranger.
Yeah. If we work through the scale, I suppose it would be B major. If we build the scale into seventh chords, B major 7, C major 7,
Yeah.
D sharp minor 6 is the
Hmm.
next one. Yeah, as I
Yeah.
said, if you go through it like that, you basically get all of these arpeggios. And then for the second line, it's just all the same thing from E flat,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then carries on going like that, basically.
It's a good scale. I had to look it up in the Ian Ring scale finder. I thought I recognized it, but
Yeah.
that the Ian Ring website is just so useful for typing a scale in, and you get an encyclopedia entry or two on it.
Do you think it's better if people make up their own names, though?
Names are funny. I mean, on that site, he actually points that out that the names are very volatile and subjective.
Hmm.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And we're back to Holdsworth's XYZs and things like that
Right.
with those skills. Have you spent much time on the Holdsworth material?
No, I mean, I listened to his music a lot and had the good fortune to play with Gary Husband a little
Oh,
bit in
wow.
London, because he wrote City Nights, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. What holds with material do you mean?
Um, well, the Reaching for the Uncommon Chord book, I don't know if you've seen that one.
No,
It's,
I am aware of it. Yeah, maybe I
yeah,
should
there's
buy it.
some terrifying stretches and sort of death-defying intervals
I
to
believe it.
study.
I
Yeah,
believe it. Yeah, yeah.
but it's this. I'm hearing crossover points, but you're saying you're listening to them. You're getting it by osmosis, presumably.
Maybe. I mean, or maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I suppose at some point, for someone like me, there's a lot of intense study of other people's music, but there's also just an aspect of like having to go, okay, I'm going to make an album now, the sort of like the artist in me, I suppose. And I don't mean that in the hoity-toity, highbrow sense, but just in that urge to make an album specifically. That's all I mean. And for that, you kind of have to just go down your own path somehow. So yeah, possibly there's been some convergence on some of these ideas uh, with other people. But no, I should certainly take a look at that book for starters. I remember the video as well. I remember finding the video very enjoyable to watch like 20 years ago or something.
It's still there on YouTube, and it's Alan with his flip charts talking
Yeah.
really eloquently about his own music. It's
Mm,
that was an inspiration when I saw that
mm,
on video cassette many years ago.
hmm.
Can I go back to colors here just for a second? You're
Yeah.
saying E flat on bar 17. So is this the whole musical material? The scales changed at that point? It looks like it might have done. I'm seeing
Yeah.
an E
But now we
natural
do the same
invariant.
scale in E flat.
Yeah, so you're doing the same scale in E flat. That makes sense. Of course it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, exactly. There's a sort of descending idea though, I suppose. So instead of starting at chord one, let's say, and going up there, we're kind of, yeah, G, E flat, B flat, and B.
Hmm.
I don't know, root
Yep.
third, fifth,
Yeah.
flat, six or something. You've got
Yeah.
that, and then,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's
it's going downwards through the scale.
the same scale.
Yeah.
And keep these rhythms going. That's an instruction to your rhythm section.
The rhythm section, exactly.
Yeah.
The bass is playing.
Okay.
If you look at those eighth notes in the bass clef, they're grouped in sevens.
'Cause one of the challenges with complex music, like the music you're writing, is actually getting it on paper and getting it played with bands that perhaps haven't got the skills that Gwilym Silcock has, and um, that fierce sort of reading skill that's required for some of these things.
Yeah, and just really strong time
Yeah,
and
yeah.
being able to, yeah, yeah, it's hard. But
The
yeah,
clarity in this is lovely. This is absolutely beautiful to read. It would be good in a sort of read through. You'd start to hear it pretty quickly.
yeah, yeah. Oh, there's one note that isn't in the scale in this piece, and it's on the page now.
Okay.
I'll let the viewers try. I'll tell you what, whoever writes in, who listens to it without buying the scores and can find the note that's currently on the page, the melodic note that isn't in the scale, I will send them a free I don't know, something, score, or maybe CD,
Yeah.
whatever they want. They can tell me.
That's
Don't
cool.
don't give the game away, Mick.
I won't. I won't. I'm thinking
If you
about it, but
spot
I'm
it.
going to make a note of colors. Right. I'm going to
And
check
you've
that.
already
I'm
got a
going to find
CD,
that
so
out
it
and
doesn't
check it
apply
out.
to you.
Colors. No, no. And Marcel's disqualified as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Where's the note? Non-scale note. But that's a good philosophy to have, to put something in you want to hear, but it doesn't have to fit the logic if you want to break the logical pattern.
You should always, music is about what sounds good, right? Um, so we should always trust our ears.
Yeah, yeah. So I notice your instructions to the band: solos on form, proceed to coda after head out. It's fairly straightforward. Um, you're describing the music really well with the sketch, and then etc. That's D to the end on bar 53.
Actually, it's a 4 bar loop.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So the bass riff
Right.
from 49, 50, 51, 52.
Yeah,
Bum, bum,
yeah,
bum, bum,
yeah.
bum. And that repeats.
Got you.
Yeah, over and over
Right,
again.
right, right. It's lovely looking through someone else's scores when you're there with them. This is really satisfying to actually
Yeah.
do.
Ah, good.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah. So what
There's
were
your
you calling
scaling
it?
instruction. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, no, what were you called? You gave it a different name, Hungarian something.
Just what Ian Ring calls it, but it's got those modal permutations where you can rotate them on the bracelet diagrams. He called it the Hungarian Romani Mode 5 minor or something.
Oh,
So
very cool.
they're the ones that Liszt used, and the old term was Gypsy minor. They were
Yeah,
using the term in the sort of 19th and 20th centuries.
yeah.
The sounds of those scales are in some of that 19th century classical music, and it still sounds far out when you hear it in
Mm.
Liszt. Um, it's great to see it coming into jazz now, because we are still a little bit conservative with the scale choices, I think, in quite a lot of jazz. That's a good argument point.
Right, yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't want to, don't know if I could say. I mean, I think
Steve
there are plenty
Warner,
of artists using really interesting, like, for example, there's a guy in London called Elchin Shirinov. He's
right?
from Azerbaijan. Then you've
Yeah,
got, yeah, Shy Maestro, Omer Klein, um, Tigran Hamasyan.
yeah.
Um, there's an Arabic chap, Tariq. Actually, he might not be actually Arabic, but Arabic speaking, I think. Tariq Yamani, who lives in
Okay.
Berlin. Yeah, there's just quite a few.
Yeah.
There's a great guitar player from Iran, actually, who I was listening to recently. I can't remember his name though.
Can we talk about another one of these tunes, and maybe we could even play one as well? That's the one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, all the second inversion. This is really giving the information. This is the cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So you can see from the notation there, basically, you don't be, people could normally, if you see F slash D flat, you think F over D flat. But what I'm talking about is F triad over D flat triad.
Yeah, polychords.
Yeah, and you could see, I mean, yeah, polychords. There's so many terms, aren't there? But yeah, you can see there, you can see exactly what it is. And it's quite fun because on the guitar, for example, for me, I've got three wound strings at the bottom and my G is plain. So it's quite a difference when you skip up to the top three strings from the low three
Yeah.
strings. And yeah, the F triad moves down and the D flat triad moves up. So it goes at the top, it goes F, E, E flat, D, and the bottom it goes D flat, D, E flat, E. Um, so yeah, very sort of very blunt object voice leading, I suppose.
It's a striking sonic effect. You're describing it really well there. I listened and I thought, is that an overdub?
Oh, okay.
That was my first reaction, and it's that trick you're describing with the unwound G.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah,
bright, and it does have that two instruments effect that guitar likes to do that when you're playing counterpoint and things, but with chords it's a little less common.
yeah, nice. And for me, in perfect fourths, the actual hand shape is the same.
Mhm.
But for you, and or other standard tuners, it's going to almost certainly be different. I think it'll be similar. You got the D shape on the top strings, and then whatever that lower bit is, C shape.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm terrified of even trying some of these pieces because of your tuning. I'm thinking, do I
No,
try
they'd be fine.
your tuning?
They'd be fine. They'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's all quite normal harmonic language, honestly. Well, it's normal. It's not that normal, but it's not like it's not specially suited to the guitar. Like that, to play that at speed would just be a bit more faffy in standard.
It makes sense what you're saying about the tuning. On paper, it looks okay, but I'm daunted by this tuning. I really am. I'll be honest.
Probably the meters mostly would scare people a wee bit in this one.
Quite possibly, yeah.
That's what those numbers mean. You know, when you got 15, 16, people might not know what that is, but that's what the 4-4-4-3 is. So there's just one 16th note chopped from the end. Then on that next line, we just sort of add that 16th note. So 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4 3 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 2 2 3 4 3 2 3 4 5 2 3 4 5
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
4 2 3 4 5.
Sure.
It's hard. It gets more difficult to count through it than it is to actually play.
Yeah.
So
Verbalizing is harder than the actual playing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a nice clear indication of the quaver, the semi-quaver counts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So then we've got some more triad pairs, like starting from C into a kind of D flat dominant thing back to C. Then I don't know what's no ideal name for these things exactly, but yeah. A flat Phrygian dominant, kind of.
It looks good on the page. I mean, there's something immediately you see it, you want to do something with it when you see something like this. You spend a weekend doing it.
Yeah, the lower clef is definitely not the bass part. Bassists do not try to play that.
Yeah. So
You'll die.
these are all your guitar polychords. They're the pairs of triads.
Yeah, although I think I'm actually not playing that part because I think I'm playing the melody part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, no, I think I might be playing that, but I just keep the same rhythm going. Depends how I feel in the moment. Then a little bit easier, yeah, a few triads over E on the first line there. Next line, a few triads over D flat, down a minor third, and down another minor third.
Right.
B flat, same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and then up a minor third, back to D flat. Oh, and then this quite cool section on the next page. Is it the C section maybe? This line, actually, if you can get that as much of that page as you can on the screen. So yeah, there we go. B flat Lydian, and then we flatten the third. So it's like root, second, flat third, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then back to B flat Lydian. So actually, if you've got a C major triad over a B flat minor triad, there's a choice of two scales really that work if you want to play a scale. And so if you scroll down, show us the last line, Mick.
Oh, sorry,
on that page. Exactly. Yeah, we could also use that one.
Yeah.
So there's two options for that scale.
Yeah.
And I tried to really bring that out in that bass melody because that's now the bass is actually playing that as a written part. So yeah, and then in the coda, all hell breaks loose. Got this kind of, two voices the whole time. You could see on the third bar of the coda, or bar 46 if you like.
Yeah.
There's the piano and the sax are playing that upper bit and I'm playing the lower triad, and you just let it hang there and create loads of friction. All kinds of weird sounds on there.
I'm trying to get my head around some of that, but yes.
also like when you listen to it, you might not really even know. You might just think, oh, this is kind of sounds like some weird jazz,
Some great chords to try out here. And are you differentiating ever between pedal bass notes on these slash chords, or are these all triadic pairs?
No, they're all triads. They're all triads.
All triad pairs.
That's the whole point. That's why it's called parity.
Got you. Thank you.
Yeah. So just in case anyone didn't make that link. So parity means pairs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes forcing things into pairs when they don't belong into pairs,
Hmm.
Sometimes there is parity. For example, I think I learned the term in like the quantum physics module where there'd be like, an electron and a positron.
Right.
So there's parity. But people might say men and women or something. But now we know there's certainly not always parity at all in that regard. So yeah, trying to force things into pairs and see what happens as a musical experiment.
And the scores are all available from your website. I will advertise that fact because people might be getting intrigued by them.
Totally, yeah, yeah. If people want,
Otherwise.
yeah, if anyone wants scores, yeah, I'm very easy to find online. Just send me a message or just buy them on
Yeah,
Bandcamp or the website.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just going back to your tempo again, this is a slowish one too. That's right. Needs to be.
but it's 16th note sort of
Yeah, of
pulse,
course. It's still
so
moving
it's
along.
yeah, it's a bit brisker
Yeah, yeah,
than it maybe it would be if it
yeah.
was 8th note pulse. Or
Sure, sure. That's a lovely looking score. It's a pleasure to look at a good score and try to get your head around it. And
oh, good. But
this is
yeah,
really
people
nice.
just like stick two triads together and make a
Yeah,
scale and see what happens.
yeah.
It's good fun, conduct your own musical experiments if you like. It really can be fun.
This is exactly what I hoped to get from this interview was to actually get some inspiring material for other people to be writing things down and working with their harmony on paper. Are you
Oh,
working at
good.
this at a desk away from your instrument from time to time or quite often? Or?
No, I think I pretty much for all of this I had the instrument with
Hmm.
me.
Okay.
And then I might just kind of sometimes I would just improvise actually. I remember this one is Stereopticon. I would just sort of improvise with the two triad thing for ages, and I got a lot of stuff that was just not didn't feel musical to me. So I chucked out maybe I don't know 90% of what I had, but then what remained became the pieces. But I did, yeah. So a lot of it was like, okay, let me do this on the guitar. I'll pick this concept, do it on the guitar, and then I would record it. The voice memos on the phone. Lots of musicians seem to have very full voice memos
Yeah.
thing on the phone.
Yeah.
And then listened back and thought, oh, that's rubbish. Delete that. That's rubbish. Delete that. Oh, what about that section? And then,
Mhm.
yeah, just distilling it, I suppose.
Try another one because there was another one I noticed.
Yeah.
Ballroom's interesting on a personal level because I remember writing things that looked a bit like this
Hmm.
experimentally when I was in a trio a few years ago,
Yeah.
and wanting to get them played by two fairly good readers. It was good fun to be able to get into some of that complexity.
Nice.
Thought
Yeah,
that,
ballroom's an interesting one because it's sort of a lot of it's in just a quite pretty A major tonality or A Lydian, I think, tonality.
yeah,
But then there's this other section which is like really nasty, sort of altered chords in G flat and loads of cool tuplets. This maybe is a bit more rhythmic focused, this one. There is
excellent,
some nice voice leading actually in this one
great.
let me see, we're in the coda basically. Yeah, exactly. So just A6 9, but yeah, people try those chords.
Mhm.
So the challenge there, it's almost a voice leading exercise because for bar 65 the melody is the same as in the A section, right?
Yeah,
Do 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 do. Very much, if you go through to bar 73,
yeah.
it's very much like all A Lydian
Mhm.
notes, but then the chords, some of them are quite far outside that. So that's a fun game as well. I never studied composition, but I think people are given cool exercises like this. I've heard lots of musicians talking about it. You take a diatonic melody and then try and harmonize it using loads of non-diatonic chords, let's say.
Yeah.
It can be a cool thing.
So you're in A major with D sharp, A Lydian,
Yeah.
but you're bringing in B flats on the
Each
chord.
bar is different. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah. And what else would there be? There'd be an A sharp in the B territory, perhaps, but maybe not. No, B add nine,
I
maybe.
think it's going to change every bar, but you could see the
Yeah,
bass note basically is going
yeah,
A, B flat, C,
yeah.
C sharp. The
What's
bass note is,
timing?
is
Yeah,
yeah, gradually ascending, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
until we get to that same junction point on the F minor,
Mhm.
major 7, flat 13. I mean, that sounds completely horrible. I'm pretty sure that's just, oh no, I don't know what that is actually. That's going to be a mode of harmonic major?
Yeah, you've got your flat six, the F. What's the flat
Do, do,
31?
do, do, do,
Uh,
do. Do, do. Yeah, that's just F harmonic major. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's hiding in plain sight. I thought it was going
Uh-huh.
to be a mode of it, but because I do like the fourth mode of. We talked about the fourth mode. Actually, we didn't talk about it, but it was in parity. That
Yeah.
scale that I call Lydian minor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful for people to think of that name, but yeah, that's the fourth mode of harmonic major, and this is just no. This can't be harmonic major. Harmonic minor is what this is. I don't know
Harmonic
if I,
minor, it's the
I don't know
flat
if I,
13, of
I,
course, yeah.
I don't know if I said that correctly. Maybe I got
Minor, so it's
the
F harmonic.
polarity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you would call the Lydian minor a Lydian scale with a flat third, is that right? I asked you this last time.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
just
think the
standard
third.
Lydian mode, flatten the third.
Yeah, I do like the term Lidorian,
Yeah,
but then
you
that
said
makes me
that.
think it's Lydian at the bottom and Dorian at the top,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is the other way around.
So you could have,
So, but the important thing maybe for people watching this is think about there's different ways of thinking about scales. Like I think, let's say we sit down and have a piece and it's got loads of scales in it, and that's all it has. As the scales change, that's going to create a certain effect. Now, if we build chords, which is like a lot of notes at the same time, it kind of communicates, I think, like more feeling, more kind of musical information,
mhm, mhm.
and it could be derived from the same scale. So what we're immediately doing is we're sort of like trying to find a little harmonic palette from a scale, which is kind of a weird way of doing it, but it's fun. Like, well, why the hell not? Anyway, is a good way. Like, we just went through a few tunes of mine where I did the exact same thing. So it's not that I mind or there's no right or wrong. And we need great melodic material just as we need great harmonic material. However, one of the things that I noticed, I was just doing a lot of teaching on a summer school this week, and people maybe understand what scales are, but they don't understand how harmony connects with scales so much, and or how scales connect with however whichever way around you want to think of it.
Yeah,
But I would, so the first thing we're doing with the scale is like, right, what harmony is there in this scale? I.e., are there familiar harmonic like chunks of information like triads? And yes, there are, because these will really help bring out the flavor of the scale, basically. So that's a really important thing to do.
yeah,
Whenever any person makes up a scale or you learn about a new scale, don't go and Google it. Go through it. Get your own hands dirty. You'll learn about what it is, what it can do, and you'll yeah, ultimately it's about that process for you. So you could see when we were going through where would we be, and I couldn't quite do it quickly enough. Well, that's good. It's work in progress. And when we're sort of improvising, let's say we're talking about jazz guitar, um, we're going to be doing that in real time. And so the more that we do that process, the more we develop fluency with a harmonic idea and concept, and could do it in person on the stage. And then one of the most exciting things is when you see players like Ben or Lage Lund, people like that, where they actually improvise and find new surprising things in real time. And sometimes you can see the other musicians looking surprised
yeah,
and responding in the moment. And sometimes you even see the musician themselves be surprised, which is very cool when they've developed the process so much that they can do something that's totally new, even to them. That's quite amazing. And I think that's maybe one of the reasons to be excited about these things that we're talking about. It can seem like very dry, scientific. If you're not a methodic person, you might think, oh, why should I do this? Well, that's why.
yeah. It's the artist generating an interesting color palette for a painting. And it's not to
Yeah,
put them back in the paint box and shut the lid, it's to use them on a painting on a wall.
exactly. And with jazz music, it's they're painting right in front of you there and then, and they're seeing what they can do moment to moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so literally doing the painting in front of you. Yeah, very
And
cool.
I think theory supports performance, and even composition's a kind of performance where if you compose something on Thursday afternoon, it's not going to be the same as the thing you compose on Saturday morning, and you can't recompose the same thing twice. You're going to be at something different 2 days later. And I think this idea of theory being something that supports and fosters the imagination is really important. It's not dry as dust. It always seems to excite me because it's so practical. It's so useful.
Yeah. Yeah, if people are perfectly creative without any of this stuff, that's totally fine. And then carry on being creative. But it can be, for me at least, it's been an incredibly powerful creative tool.
Complexity is a real weird area to get into in music because it does have this pitfall of disappearing into theory. Even when you're sounding it, you can actually be sounding like you're theorizing, but
Yeah,
have
well, and
a
it's
sense of fun.
same with guitar technique as well.
Yeah,
There are many people many of whom I'm very fascinated by, who maybe do like guitar clinics and things like that, and who yeah, I discovered on a YouTube video of some amazing kind of licks or whatever. And then I would look on there, I'd say, oh, I want to go watch them play. I want to see this happening. This is amazing. And then but there wouldn't even be a gigs tab on on their website. So it's very strange. Like it becomes its own little ecosystem.
yeah,
And that's fine, but I like music. My favorite thing, I like going to gigs. I probably watch at least one gig every week, probably more. Um, and that's a lot because I'm also playing a lot of the time, a lot of evenings.
yeah.
So yeah, so I was just getting to the point that theory, there are people. I mean, I've been interested in sort of like microtonal music for many years, and obviously that is ultra specific, and you have so many people who maybe know, and actually some people who apply it, and I think it's just not, doesn't sound good.
Mhm.
There are plenty of people applying it, and it sounds great.
Yeah, I think with Lamonte Young immediately.
Yeah, yeah, I was told about him. I listened to an album of like, yeah, it was kind of Indian music, and it was quite cool. Um, Anyway, but yeah, theory, guitar, gear, all these different things that make up, like musical tools. They're kind of, sometimes they exist as little cells by themselves, which is fascinating. And if people are just more interested in gear, for example, or theory, or technique than they are in actual music, that's fine. But yeah, for me, I'm usually trying to find something I can use. I'm just a very basic, realistic, practical person, I think.
And I think also when you've got an idea that you like, you're working with, it might be complicated, it might have come out of theory. Playing it to people, it transforms it completely. You get some different perspective on it when you put it past some other people's ears.
You do, and when you let other people hear it as well, you hear it fresh. It changes your own perspective, and you'll know if it's a decent composition or not, or if it sucks. Because you can say, well, no, this is a good composition because I did this theoretical concept. But then when other people are listening to it, and if they, if you still feel like it's a good composition, then great. But you might think, no, actually, I'm now listening properly, and it's not musically strong. But anyway,
Yeah.
only the composer can say if they achieve what they set out to.
One of my favorite things is trying out a tune I've worked on for a long time on a non-musician.
Okay.
And
Yeah, exactly that.
get that response that you're curious about from a non-musician, I think you're getting somewhere. It's often not the response you expect, but you can get that response.
Just a little bit of trivia, which
Hmm.
ties into some theory. And then I don't know if we should maybe park the. Oh, I have some Almanac
Oh, yeah.
recommendations for people in a minute, but I just wanted
Go
to, if you load, can you get the chart for A to Z
I
while
can.
you're looking for that? So years ago, I was writing this tune, and I really loved. It sounded like it was loads of harmonic major modes, right? And so the little initial for that was like harmonic major tune. So it was HMT, and then I decided to call it like Her Majesty's tune.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, this is good. It sounds like a sort of a queen, like an alien queen, in her palace.
Right.
And now my wife is very much human, not alien. But I like the Her Majesty angle, Her Majesty's tune. I thought, okay, this is a dedication to my wife. But yeah, so I finally, she was always saying like, oh, you got to write me a tune. So that I wrote her that one, but she didn't like it because the chords were too weird, basically.
Cool.
So this A to Z is a little dedication from me to her. And as you can see, A minor, who doesn't like A minor? No one. Everyone likes A minor. You, me,
Yeah.
Ingrid Malmsteen,
Yeah. Yeah.
your auntie, Mozart. Everyone likes A minor. And yeah, this is a much simpler little song. So you have a much more functional harmony. And you can see, if you like, you can think of the A in the title, the A being the A minor.
Yeah.
And then if you go down to the end of the tune, Z, the end of the journey, we're in E minor, the dominant,
Okay.
before we start again. And then there's some crunchy diminished, well,
Logic.
not diminished, dominance going on in there, but yeah. So have a listen to that, folks.
I'm interested in all of this. I love the way titles interact with compositions. You're very kind in your instructions on some of these as well. You actually put something like crotchet equals 260 or something close.
Ish. Yeah, yeah.
Ish, that's right. Yeah, that's a gentle way of pushing the band a little bit.
Yeah, I think sometimes you want things at a specific tempo and you can record to click, let's say,
Yeah,
if you want to do it that way. Other times it's going to depend on what people do.
yeah, yeah.
So you need to have some flexibility in there. But yeah, if people, for example, let's just go like if you're in standard tuning, right? Top four strings, like as in highest sounding four strings on your guitar, D, G, B, E,
Yeah,
and you go seventh fret on the D,
yeah.
fifth fret on the G, eighth fret on the B, and then you just pluck that. You'll get that repeated pattern. You go
Yeah,
do
yeah,
do do do
yeah.
do no do 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 do, and then you drop that A down on the D string from the fifth fret. You just move that down to the sixth fret. Then you get that E7 altered
Mhm.
over G
Pull that
sharp, that
back
second
upon.
chord, and then you move that down. So this is really just having fun
Yeah,
with this simple little chord shape.
and
You
that
know, we
works in standard tuning. I can see that.
I was saying that in standard tuning, yeah. For you,
That's
that's
right.
why it was like practically giving me a nosebleed trying to think about it. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, those notes. If you look at those dots,
And you'd
that's
use
just
an open
one
E note, open E string.
open E,
Yeah,
exactly.
so
Three notes fretted, open
yes.
E. Then you move that down for G minor, then down for F sharp, then F7, a shell voicing, no fifth, and that F7 is really weird because it's got an E in it. It's
Ooh,
got
yeah.
both sevens, but really, it's
Works.
just like this chord. It's just a little chord symbol.
Touch of Villa Lobos.
Love Villa Lobos. Did he
The
do
Villa
that?
Lobos
Great,
shape movements, they're
great.
great.
Whatever I converge on with Hector Villa
Yeah.
Lobos, I'm delighted to
That's
hear
good.
about it.
He would have been interested in your tuning, I think.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder.
Imagine. Yeah,
I
there's a thing.
tried to play some of his etudes, but I can't do them in the tuning. It's a real shame, man. This
Yeah,
stupid tuning,
that's
you know.
that's obviously a drawback for you because they are so much using that standard guitar tuning.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many dissonances using open strings and the
Usually
repeat.
consonants, actually.
Yeah, and the consonances too. Yes.
Usually it's going to be consonants
Yeah.
because everything's just the bar based stuff, you know.
Yeah. 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 I was thinking of Etudes 10 or 11, the weird tremolo things where he's using some dissonances. It's not a million
Cool.
miles from this. I
Oh,
think it's
nice.
11. 10's the pull-offs one, and 11's the weird tremolo across three strings with
Yeah.
three identical notes at first.
So just for the viewers then, this is Heitor Villa Lobos.
Thank you.
It's Heitor, right? And then Villa, Villa hyphen Lobos. Was he Cuban or was he Brazilian?
South American.
Yeah.
Certainly South American.
Hey Siri. The Empire of Brazil.
Yeah, there you are.
Well, and I'm worried there might be another.
Syria is now rewriting history. There you are.
Yeah. Hang on, I just want to check. Villa Lobos guitar. God, people, if any classical guitar players are watching this, they get, yeah, okay, so born in Rio.
Brazil,
Born,
it's Brazil. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Born in Rio, died in Rio in 1959.
Told
Okay,
off by Segovia for using his little finger on his right hand.
he was told off.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed.
That's funny. You know who I was thinking of? Leo Brouwer.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get I get
yeah, of
confused.
course,
Yeah,
of course.
I
And
get, and
there's some
he's Cuban.
connection.
So there's we've got these two titans of guitar
Yes,
from far flung.
yeah.
So yeah, forgive me any Brazilian or Cuban viewers for not knowing.
The crossover point between this material and the Almanac material is quite strong too, because we've got so much chord shape availability of things that we
Yeah,
haven't heard so much. Some of those sounds can have context from the almanacs. And you to finish off, because we're getting to the 2 hour mark, I think, now,
yeah.
hour and a half mark. Yes, there's a
Almanac recommendations.
great. We've managed to go a long way, both interviews, without talking about the almanacs. That's quite impressive.
I can only apologize to any almanacophiles. The first thing I'd like you to look at is not you, Mick. I'm sure you probably have this all memorized.
I'm going to enjoy this.
But it is so triad over bass note, four-way closed voicings, C major, cycle 2, which is what page is that on Almanac one? I don't have page numbers in this one, which is
Yeah,
interesting.
mine hasn't either. Let's have a look. I can bring
Yeah,
it up.
but anyway, the reason I wanted to look at this is because none of these are playable.
Yes.
So I've got for me. So on my PDF. So this is what you have to do, people. Use this stuff. It's more important to just use 3 pages.
Yeah.
This is so thick. It's more important to use 1 page or 1 line than it is to know everything. So for me, I cannot use this page. So in my PDF version of it, I put a big X, crossed it out because it's useless.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about it if I can't use it.
What
Okay,
about arpeggios?
I could for sure, and I could arrange it for string quartet or whatever. But for me at the moment, it's just guitar practice. However, the next page has a big, beautiful tick on it.
Yeah.
You've got here. So this one, I love this one. So this is Almanac Volume 1.
Could you hold the top line up to the screen? That's
Absolutely.
great. We'll be able to identify it from that. So it's TBN 1, cycle 2, C major. That's enough to identify it really, and the
Yeah,
voicing types are dropped too. So
yeah,
yeah, that's the
exactly.
important
Yeah,
information on the top line there. So
yeah.
appreciate that too. Thank you.
So okay, couple more. I picked another one from the second volume, which I think I only have in PDF, which is this one. The first one, spread clusters.
Yes.
You could look. That's my notation. A little
Yeah.
green sea urchin of some
Yeah.
sort.
Yeah.
Is this a mirror? It looks like a mirror on my
No,
screen.
I'm getting the correct
Okay, good.
correct way around. This is chord family spread clusters, 4-way close. So we've got some tight voicings. These are the ones I use open strings on a lot, or harmonics even.
Yeah, I'm wondering how I four-way close. I'm wondering why I put an asterisk by them and a cross by the other ones that were unplayable.
Do you ever drop the bass line an octave or anything like that when it's
Uh,
four-way
it's
close?
it's probably that, yeah. And then on the next page, I've just circled that one particular voicing.
We've got a major second in the middle of the voicing. That's
Yeah, yeah,
nice. Yeah. FD.
yeah. Why
Trying to think.
not?
Okay, then. An open
Why
string again. Yeah.
why not? So check that one out. Okay, volume 3, and I've got page 27.
Okay.
Let me get to it. Let's see what it is. Just triads now, a bit simpler.
Yeah. These are the alternative cycles, I think.
Okay.
Ways of doing these.
So what's alternative about them?
I think the systematic approach in volumes 1 and 2 wasn't the only approach. So
So
an alternative
what's the
way.
system? Is it just descending or ascending or
I
something
think
like that?
some of the things in volume 3, you would alternate spread voicings and close voicings, for example. So you would have
Okay.
alternate spread, close, spread, close.
Yeah.
Sounds cool, but it's going to be doing some leaps as well as the parsimonious voice leading, where the
Okay,
voice
cool.
is minimalized.
I'll just quickly Google parsimonious.
Sorry, smaller steps.
Okay.
Stingy.
I know sanctimonious.
Yeah, it's rather similar. Yeah, it's someone that doesn't share much parsimony.
Ah, okay. Very
Just
cool.
stingy.
Did you study Latin?
Once upon a time, believe it or not, yes.
Okay. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's a long time ago now. So I
But
think
yeah.
it's to do with steps of under a minor third or under a third
Okay.
in the technical terminology.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
so it's
cool.
cool stuff. Yeah.
But those would be my almanac recommendations, and I would encourage
Okay.
people to get a PDF, but or maybe even print out a few pages
Yeah.
of it and focus on them and circle things and really live with the ones you like. And when something pops out to you, to your ears, you know, go with that as far as you can. You know,
I
use it
got
to grip.
very I got very involved with the drop 2 and 4 voicings
Okay.
um, last year. Randy Roos was raving about them on one of the modern guitar interviews we've done.
Mm,
He played a beautiful tune called Beneath It All.
okay.
But
Drop
the
two, drop four.
drop 2, drop 4, it's such a good chord melody voicing. You get a nice big spread, sort of fifth plus a sixth plus a fifth on the
Okay.
big voicing. And they're
Nice.
comfortable, they're really guitaristic, they range
Yeah.
across the whole instrument. And there's also a little clip on the
Beautiful.
Modern Guitar Harmony website of Mick Goodrick's horn fifths, I think. I
Okay.
know he wrote a lot of these out, and the inversions of these drop 2 and 4 chords naturally produce horn fifths, where you go through the chord voicing, and the fifths become fourths, and the fourths become fifths.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool.
Uh,
Yeah,
and it's not classical harmony; it's a little bit naughty for classical harmony, but it sounds beautiful and
yeah,
great way of getting familiar with your chord shapes in non-root position voicings and
yeah.
starting to see where they're going with them. So
Okay, and that's drop two, drop four.
drop 2, drop 4, and Randy Roos played it on his interview on Modern
Great.
Guitar website, so I'll refer to another interview there. Can I
Yeah.
get the Almanac Volume 3 page reference, please?
Oh yeah, 27.
7, thank you, I've got that written
Yeah.
down. I'll check that out. And I might see if I can put a bookend on this set of interviews from that exercise. That might be a really good
Yeah,
one.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
That's what I
I'm
like.
sorry that I'm not really kitted up to give a little demo here, but
I came out in a hurry. I haven't got a guitar with me today, so this is a guitar-free day
yeah,
in the interview. But let's do this again sometime. I feel like we've just started scratching the surface as ever with Almanac conversations. And I don't want to monopolize your time. I know you're busy.
no,
But
no worries, man. But
this
yeah,
is
good to
such an
talk.
enjoyable chat today.
Oh
Um,
man,
I'll put a link to your website with the video so that we've got some traffic directed your way to your recording. I'll show the listeners it again here.
thanks.
And I was just saying, there must have been in the back of my mind the 1970s British string pictures where everyone nailed strings into boards and connected them.
Yeah,
There's so much going on there with that, you know.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
just a little thought wave. But do
yeah,
get this album, it's really lovely.
yeah. Well, thanks for taking an interest, Mick, and in being so interested in the harmonic stuff that's going on. It's really fun to talk about your own creations, you know.
Of course.
So, thanks for any viewers who've made it this far, assuming what I'm saying actually makes the edit, Marcel. Yeah,
Most of it does.
yeah, yeah. Cool. All right, man. We'll keep in touch and yeah, let me know when things get. I'm going to stop recording actually.
I will do as well. Thank
Goodbye
you
for
so
now.
much. It's really appreciated. Bye for now.